I was there in 15 when Arrieta was really, really good. I mean, he was fantastic. I faced him that year. I thought he was the best pitcher I had ever seen. I couldn't not swing at the breaking ball in the dirt. But since then, he has only gone downhill. Things have only gotten worse in pretty much every statistical category. So for me, when I look at this and I think he's getting older, it's going downhill, I really don't understand why there would be any interest in Jake Arrieta from pretty much any team. I mean, to me, nothing's adding up here. This guy, if you bring him in, is he really going to be a piece that you can count on in any way to give you any real innings? And I don't get it.
Sal, where would you go next with the pitching if you were the Mets?
Well, first of all, I'm with Reg. I would have zero interest in Jake Arrieta at this point. I want a guy who's going to be reliable. I've been saying this all offseason long. The Mets don't need a top-of-the-rotation guy. They have a bunch of guys behind DeGrom that can be serviceable 2s and 3s, and I think Stroman's going to have a big year. I said that Syndergaard when he comes back. Carrasco, certainly they get him. They need a guy who's going to be reliable to take them out every fifth day at the back end of that rotation. And a lot of the names that you brought up, I don't really trust any of those guys to be able to do that. So that's why I have an issue. There's not one guy that I think the Mets should go out there and get definitively. Walker, Odorizzi, those guys don't really do it for me either way. Now, I'm not going to turn them away if the Mets sign them. Sure, fine, see what they could give him. But I don't want a guy like Arrieta who, to Rex's point, continues to decline, not healthy anyway, older. So I just don't think any of those names that are listed that are potential guys to fill in that rotation are guys that are going to make a difference one way or another. Maybe they're better off starting the year what they have and then seeing what's available come trade deadline.
Sweeney, it's interesting that Rec and Sal are talking about Jake Arrieta, who's declining, oft injured at this point in his career. What about somebody like James Paxton, obviously coming off some success with the Yankees when he was healthy, but staying healthy was his problem. Do you think he makes sense for this role with the Mets?
I think Paxton makes sense for just about anybody in that kind of role. To Sal's point, I don't think there's any team in baseball right now that has a fifth starter they think can make 32 good starts for them. I think especially coming off of what 2020 was, I think Paxton is exactly the type of guy that you want to gamble on. High upside, high quality, and you'll maybe get 15 to 20 starts out of that guy. And I don't think you're really looking at anybody not named Cole or DeGrom this year to make at least 30 starts. I think you have to stack depth. I think you have to stack quality and think about these types of guys who might be able to give you 15 to 20 really good starts, because I don't think there are many people lining up to give you 30.